All right, I feel we can start now. Okay, so hi everyone and greetings from Shiksha Online. This is Abhilasha Sharma, your host for today. And as you all can see, that the topic for today is experiences from a distant learning HR. And we have Rohit Sharma amongst us. So he has quite an expertise in the field of human resources, and he will be sharing all his experiences along the way, all the strategies you all should be using to make your career and build your career in human resources. Is an MBA in HR important for you or is it not? So he will be busting all the myths and realities in this webinar. And as we proceed towards the end of the webinar, there will be a Q&A round. So in that particular Q&A round, you can drop all your questions and queries in the chat box itself. And I will be the connection between you and the speaker. So I will be taking up all your questions and putting it in front of him, and he will be answering them accordingly. So I think we should proceed with the webinar now. And Rohit, I hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much, Abhilasha, for this great introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Rohit Sharma, and let me tell you one thing first of all that I'm working in a business integrator HR. So let me tell you one thing about the HR first of all that many students are having a delusion about HR kind of things as well. Like what nowadays people are doing, everyone is fantasizing about the job. Like we want to pursue into HR, we want to go into HR. So before going into any field, it's not just about HR kind of field. I would suggest before going into any field, you should go thoroughly. You should know about pros and cons about the any kind of profile like in which you want to go. So let me share my experience from a distance learning HR. What I feel, it totally depends on you. Like, what is your priority about your education? For example, somehow some people are working after graduation, like me. I did my graduation from NIU, which is in Greater Noida. So I did BA in English honors. After that, I started working in HR field, where after some time I was feeling that I need more learning, I need more education. So I thought, why not to go for distance learning, because I was not having that much of time that I can go for regular MBA courses for HR. So that is what I thought that I can go for, for distance learning. So what I found, like, if you can work hard, whatever you want to achieve, so it's not, uh, it's quite easy to make the things for you. For example, in starting I was thinking that I can go for like regular college in MBA, but due to lack of time I switched for distance learning. And what I found, if you choose the correct college, for distance learning, so you'll be going through a great knowledge in that. So there are many colleges which you can go through, and you can learn more things for HR as well. So on my point, because I was working, and beside that I need to join for MBA courses as well, so I chose distance learning for HR. So my experience talking about distance learning was quite good, because I think I chose a correct college for a distance learning, where I got new things to learn and I got more exposure. I was given, different kind of projects to work on. So, I was just exploring more kind of opportunities, more learning. So that is the reason I chose distance learning, so that it won't interrupt in between my work. So that is my experience from distance learning. And let me tell you why distance learning MBA in HR I did. Because, somehow if you want to go for a good organization, they require higher qualifications, such as you might be having, if you are having certifications, so that is well and good for you. So if you don't have that, I think you should go for higher education as well. So why distance learning in MBA and HR I did? Because it's not about market demand. It just I also want to learn new things in HR, because you know HR is not a simple term to work on because HR is a wide things to work. Because in starting, I was into delusion like, HR is something that we have to go office and we just have to sit and people will be coming and then we need to take the interviews for those candidates and that's all. We are done for a day. But it's a vast kind of thing that we need to learn in HR. So that's why MBA was very much important. So that's why I did in that. Okay, let me talk about overall my experience from starting. So let me tell you my experience. I did my graduation. I'm talking, after 12th, as I pursued in graduation. So my experience was good in, BA in English honors I did. In starting, I was very clear in my mind that I need to join in HR only. But, somehow like other candidate or other student, I was also in a delusion that, HR is quite a fascinating job where it's quite, easy to work on. And it's just I have to go office and, people will be coming and will be giving their interviews and I'll be taking their interviews and that's all. But somehow when I started working in HR domain, so what happened? There are subdivision as well. There are few, let me tell you few points, few things, what roles and responsibilities come under HR. Like there are different kind of HR. For example, one who is into TA team, for example, talent acquisition, where you have to acquire the new talents, which means you have to hire the candidates. So let's just take an example. For example, if you are working for any XYZ company and you're working there as an HR, but you're working in a TAT, which means you have to hire the candidates, like you have to acquire the talents. So you will be giving the requirements that, for example, we need to hire fresher. Let's take an example at we have to hire a fresher. So it's not just that you'll be coming office and you'll be just posting over LinkedIn or Naukri.com that yes, I am hiring freshers and fresher will be coming for an interview. No, it's not just that like that only. So it's quite it's work like a pattern wise. For example, I need to hire fresher. So the company will be giving you few criterias to work on, or they'll be giving you few points to work on. Like we want fresher, for example, uh, fresher, like who has done graduation. Let's take it graduation. They'll be giving you few points like we want freshers who has done graduation or with good communication skills or fresher who scored more than 60 or 70 percentage in their 10th and 12th. So these are the criterias. Now we have to hire those freshers. So what we'll be doing, one, we have our option that company will be providing us Naukri portal, which is naukri.com. So you can do just cold calling. For example, you will be searching freshers on Naukri and you'll be getting a different kinds of numbers and email IDs so that you can directly call those freshers. And you start working on freshers, so you'll be making a call on a daily basis like 50s or 100 calls in a day for just a profile for a fresher. So you are making calls like 50 calls in a day, 100 calls in a day, still you are not able to get those kinds of pressure which you are looking for. So that is quite a hectic. And here comes the pressure point where people think like, yeah, HR job is quite easy. But now what I'm telling you, like for hiring a fresher, it's quite a pressurized. Like now I'm making a call like on a daily basis, 50 calls, 100 calls. Like for example, I used to make a call like 100 calls in a day. And what happened? Out of those 100 calls, only 10 or 20 candidates are the relevant one. And after just those call kind of work, those 20 candidates are the relevant one. And out of those 20 candidates, only 10 will be coming for the interview. Not everyone will be coming. Okay. So 10 candidates will be coming for the interview. After that, only two or three candidate will be selected. Okay. After two or three candidate, only one or two will be joining. So you can take an example. I made 100 calls in a day for approximately 1 week or 2 weeks, and out of those, what I'm getting four or five candidates who are joining us. Isn't it hectic? So it's not a fantasizing job that I give you an example for just in fresher. Let's talk about experienced one. So if I'll be giving any position, like I have to hire any Java developer or any full stack developer or like .NET developer. So I need to work on key skills. What key skills will be used? So fresher is quite hectic to work on fresher. After fresher comes experienced. So experienced candidate, they already have their mindset, like we want this kind of companies, we want that kind of package, we want these kinds of facilities. So you have to fulfill the requirement of the company and the candidate as well. So you have to fulfill both the requirements, companies and the candidate. Companies giving that we want xyz qualities in that candidate, in the experienced one. Okay. And candidate is looking, I want this and that from the company. So in between, what HR is doing, he is just fulfilling both the requirements. One is from company side and one is from candidate side. So that is way more hectic than fresher. So here what happens, that we are not able, or sometimes we are not able to deliver those kinds of candidate what company was you're looking for. Okay. In the end, we are working for company and company is paying for us. So we have to fulfill their requirement first. Okay. So if we are not able to fulfill the requirement of the company, which means we are not working correctly. So before going to the HR field, because there are many field or many jobs to work on, but candidates are preferring to work in a HR field only, because they are not having the clear picture what HR are doing. Okay. So I told you, like I made 100 calls in a day. After making 100 calls, only one or two candidate will be joining from those 100 calls. So this is quite hectic to work as an HR. Okay. Talking about the experienced one, experienced, I already told you, both have their mindset. So that is way more hectic to work on. So now always remember, there is going to be target based job in HR field, which is in TAT. Target in terms of, you can't sit idle in the company and it just, just you'll be sitting and people are coming for interview. It's not like that. You have to pull the candidates, the right candidates, and you have to approach in a right manner, so that candidate can come directly and they can join your organization. So this is what my experience about HR field, working as an HR. So I think new generation or fresher candidate or anyone who wants to join an HR field, they must be aware about what HR works and how it works. Because there are many friends or colleagues, I used to get these kinds of things in my mind, like it is not just in that way. I was thinking like HR is quite easy job to work on. There is no job is easy to work on, because somehow Every job has their own prospect to work on. So don't think that HR job is quite easy job. Okay. Now let me tell you one thing. No job is easy and no job is hard. Let me tell you one thing. For example, as an HR, I love to interact people. I love to gather people, and I love handling pressure. And I can make 100 calls in a day, or I can handle those kinds of pressure that different candidates are coming, they are giving their experience, they are looking for different jobs. You have to handle those kinds of candidate as well. Sometime what happens, because everyone is looking for a job and a good job, so candidate are also frustrated. So sometimes what they do, they don't think before speaking. For example, they speak anything in front of HR, like if they are not able to provide job to them. So you have to handle those as well, because coming into the field of HR, you have to be patient. Patience, you should have patience in yourself, because it's not just that you can, if someone is saying something to you, you can't just give the answer in just the same manner. You have to mold yourself. You should have self control. So these kinds of things, and this kind of mindset you should have before coming into HR. If you think that you can handle that pressure, if you think you can make 50 calls, 100 calls in a day, if you think you can, handle any kind of candidates, or you are a calm person, so I think at that point of time you can join the field of HR. Okay. So this is one which is called TA in HR. Other we have, one is called onboarding HRs. Okay, so what happened? Somehow people are working in TA team. For example, I told you the example, and what happened? Like after some time, they started switching to onboarding kind of thing. Okay, then they start thinking like onboarding is quite onboarding is quite easy job. I don't know why people are running and looking for easy jobs, because somehow no job is easy and no job is hard. Now talking about onboarding part, it's not easy job to work as an onboarding as well. Yeah, but if you can't handle that kind of pressure, which is calls, which is the upper management pressure of giving them the right candidate on time, so I think you can go for onboarding part. So in onboarding part, what happens? You have to onboard the candidates. For example, there are bulk hiring is going on in the company, where the guys are hiring 50, for example, 20 freshers in a batch, and they have almost two or three batches. So which is approximately 40 to 45 candidates, if I talk about in total. So what you have to do, you have to onboard those candidates, which is you have to verify their documents, you have to collect their documents, you have to follow up, you have to give all the offer letter and all the clarifications and all the benefits which are given by the companies to the candidate. So onboarding is quite a different thing. Other side, one HR, those are one who do the on like exit formalities, and the relieving letter, or after the candidate leave the office, then they have certain amount of work pending with the companies. So those kinds of things. So those HRs comes in exit formalities, who take cares after the exit formalities. So in that case, what happened? That is also, documented kind of work, but somehow it's quite different from TA. So before going to HR, because sometimes what I get, there are, I talk to candidate and they are like, hello sir, I'm looking for a job. So I used to ask them like, in which profile you are looking for a job? So they are like, sir, HR. So that is not a good answer. What is an HR? Because you should know that your answer should be like, you should be clarify with your answer. Like, hi sir, I'm looking for a job in HR onboarding or in HR TA team. So you should be clarify what HR, because HR comes with different roles. It's not a single name of HR. So first of all, you should be clear with your roles and responsibilities so that you can work on that. And let me tell you one more thing, that before going into any field, I would suggest you should go with their any positive or negative side as well. Like any companies or any kind of job they guys are providing you, before getting into that job, you should be aware what kind of job or what kind of work I'll be doing there. So you should be aware about that. So I think talking about all these things and about my experience into HR, that is very good. Why? Because from starting, I was very clear that I have to go in HR, and yes, I am ready for that pressure, or I can deliver those those kinds of requirement according to the companies. So I was very clear on that part. So I think that's why I chose the HR profile, and I'm working great here. So at every no job is bad or no job is good until and unless you know yourself that I am a good fit for this profile. So there are people who are doing good in different profile or good in different field, and I think they are good. So you should be clarify with your opinion, with your thoughts, or your perceptions towards the job that I want to go into this field or that field. So don't just go in a single way where the other people are going on. So I think all of you are clear on these points, like what HR do, what are the responsibilities of an HR. So I think this was my overall experience. All right, moving forward, let me talk about cost versus return on investment. Okay, so now what people are doing, you should calculate. Yeah, moving forward, I'll be telling you a few colleges or certification as well. But prior to that, let me give you an hint or example so that you can have idea on that part as well. For example, what is, let me talk about cost and ROI. Okay. So cost is whatever course you are doing, or, for example, you are doing MBA or you are doing any post graduation or you are doing graduation, whatever you are doing, you should calculate a cost. For example, if you are doing, let's take a graduation part. If you are doing graduation from a reputed college, and your cost is, for example, it's a 3 years of course, like you are doing a 3 year of graduation, and it costs you around 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs for 3 years. So that is cost for you. You should calculate what I'll be like return on investment. For example, 10 lakh you costed for graduation, and after that you're getting a job of 18 or 20 or 25,000 rupees in a month. So it will take a long way back to, it will take a long for cover up those costs which you gave for graduation, and you gave 10 lakh rupees. You will be covering those 10 lakh rupees from those 25,000 rupees. So you'll be calculating those 25, and you'll be giving your uh, precious 4 and 5 years for any company, working for any company, and then you'll be getting that 10 lakh rupees. After that 10 lakh rupees, you'll start earning. Once you are done with your graduation or your MBA or any post graduation, whatever amount you are getting in job, that is not earning. That is just you are just taking, cost which you gave, which was your, parents hard earned money. So please calculate any graduation, any course, any post graduation, and what I'll be getting in return. Because remember one thing, time is precious. So, what is the most expensive thing in the world? That is only one thing, and that is time. Money can be earned, time can't be. So, before delivering your time in any, courses or anything, just calculate your return on investment. So, that is what I was meant to say. Okay, I think I already discussed this point in my experience, which was student expectation, like delusion thoughts over different jobs. So that was of HR. I told you already. I, I on regular basis I meet almost 50 to 100 candidates in a day. They all are like, sir, we want to go into HR field, or we want to join this company, and so we just want to go into HR. They are not clear with their minds what HR do, or what are the roles and responsibilities of an HR. So I think this is very clear that don't get trapped into delusion, which means you know don't just look on the other side as well what they guys are offering. So I think you all are clear on this point. Okay, let me talk about recognized certification, that any kind of certification you can do. What nowadays I think people are more advanced nowadays. So graduation or post graduation or any higher education is not just an enough. You should be more, what we can say, you should be more advanced nowadays. Like you should have certification timely. What does that mean? That means if you have certifications, for example, nowadays, like everyone knows, like AI is going on. So nowadays AI is going on. With time you need to upgrade yourself. Okay, so for example, there is one certification course which is called PHR, which is Professional in Human Resource. So, what is that professional in human resource? They provide you the certification, which is not only about the certification. They gave you, like, they give you like how you can be more professional in the field of HR. So, I think that this kind of certification is required nowadays, because I'm working, for example, I'm working in HR, and with time I'm not able to get cope up with things or the new batches. So I think certification will help me out, wherein like professionally in human resource, PHR we can call it. So PHR, that is, they'll give you more training how to be professional, not in terms of talking, more soft training they'll be giving you. They'll be giving you new ideas, what things are going in market. So you are aware about the thing which is going in market. Okay. Now what is SHRL? That is strategic HR leadership. So that is, leadership is not being an HR manager, or if you are just a manager, so that doesn't mean that you are a leadership. You should have that quality in yourself, that yes, I have that leadership qualities. Leadership qualities is what? First of all, if you are a leader, you should be aware about every terms or every you know new things. Because if any of your team member is having doubt, so he or she'll be coming to you, sir or ma'am, that I have this kind of doubt, you can help me out. So you should be aware about those kinds of things. And leadership means that you help others to grow. And how you help? By giving them training, by making them learn new things, by giving them chance to work on new things. So these kinds of things comes under the leadership. They make other people to grow more. So this is kind of things. I think you can, there are many certification. It's just an example that you can go for these certification. But yes, there are many certification as well, which are available nowadays very easily. So I think I have given a good knowledge on this part. Hi Abhilasha.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel now we are for like coming forward with Q&A round, and all the explanation part is done from your side, Rohit.
Yes.
So we are up for the Q&A round now. So in case you all have any questions or queries, you can drop them in the chat box right now, and we'll be all ears, and Rohit will be answering them, each one of them. And I also have some of the questions lined up for you, Rohit, before the webinar started, like the attendees who are in the webinar. So they have filled some of their questions and doubts in the registration form itself. So I will be asking you those questions. And in the meantime, if the attendees who are here right now have any questions, they can drop it in the chat box. So I'll be asking you the first question. Okay, so someone asked that what are the key trends that are currently shaping the field of human resources?
Okay, this is nice question, because nowadays people are looking towards more new things in terms of, we can say, candidates are looking new job opportunities, in terms of people are not just like they are just coming to the office and they are just keep working. It's not like that. They want to learn more, they want to grow more. So they are looking new opportunities in terms of, we can say, activities as well. They are looking, they want something to be more active kind of things in the companies, like they are given speech to speak on, like they are given topics to work on. Or it's just not, if someone is working in HR field, so this is not something candidate should be just calling or taking the interviews whole day. So I think some persona work is done with them. So I think that is something, new things are taking shape in a market nowadays.
All right, I will move on with the next question now. So the other question is, what are some emerging technologies in HR and how should HR professionals adapt to them?
Okay, technologies. We can talk about technologies in terms of certification. We can connect to those technologies, because if you are doing if you are aware about any kind of technologies which are coming into HR field. So I think the perfect example for that certification, because certification is what which help you to understand the new technologies which are coming into the market every time. So I think you should go. That's why I mentioned that you should go for certification as well, so that you are aware about the new technologies and you can work on those things as well. Because if you are just working, so you won't be able to understand that what new technologies are coming to the market. So that's why timely certifications are required.
Another one is, how did distance learning MBA in HR helped you, and is 100% placement guaranteed?
Okay, so it's a good one, because 100% placement guarantee, it's totally depends on colleges as well. It's not like, if you are, I'm not here to defame or anything to any colleges, but yes, before going to any college, you should be aware about you know they are providing. Because I used to see there are many colleges, they are saying that yes, we are giving 100% placements, but I think they are false with their statements. So I think you should more aware about those kinds of things, or you should search more on those colleges, like yes, if they are providing the placements or not. So I think before joining or before choosing any college, you should go through like thoroughly, and you should be aware about those kinds of things, that are they are providing or they are just making false commitment. So for me, because yes, Symbiosis, I did from Symbiosis Pune. That is a great college, but I was already working, so I was not required for that college placement. So I didn't opt it for that. But yes, I was having an option.
All right, I will come up with the next question. So, how does the curriculum of an MBA in HR program integrate real world HR scenarios? Do they match in practical life accordingly to the theoretical knowledge it gives, or they are totally different?
Good question. Okay, talking about this, because theoretical knowledge is something it's quite different. Because for example, somehow in HR field they'll be giving you the guidance, like yes, you have to take the interview, so they'll be giving you theory knowledge. For example, they'll be giving you few questions, like you have to ask these questions to the candidates. For example, you okay, introduce yourself, or tell me something about yourself, or what is your background, or what are your expectations, what kind of job you're looking. So in theoretical knowledge, you can ask or you can practice these questions, but in real time, or in real job time, it's quite way different. So I think practical knowledge, it's good, but once you start working in HR field, it's quite different, because candidates are coming with their different mindset, and you are in your back of the mind, you are thinking, yes, I have next question ready in my mind, I can ask this question. But before you ask question, they are already they are ready with their questions, and you are not aware. So it will come slowly and gradually with time, that if you start working, so I think then only you can learn things and you can manage the thing. But in college they can give you idea, not the correct way to work as an HR. But yes, they can give you knowledge, but somehow you'll be gathering those knowledge, or you will be gathering those experience once you start working.
All right, I think I'm done with the questions. And yeah, so in case anyone has any sort of doubt anymore, I am launching a feedback poll. How did this webinar? Yeah, so it will be on your screens right now. It will be showing on your screens, and you can fill this out and give your feedback. How did this webinar help you? And would you like to do like pursue these kind of webinars in future for your learning? And what are some topics you need from us to consider? So you can also drop them in the chat box simultaneously and fill out this feedback poll. And also, in the meantime, if you have any doubt or query that you want to be addressed right now, it is the time, because we are approaching towards the end of the webinar and we will be wrapping it up. So, okay, there is a question, Rohit. What are some common career paths for MBA graduates specializing in HR?
Okay.
Meaning, what are the other job roles they can pursue? I think this is what that question means.
Other job role in terms of HR only?
Yeah.
Okay, there are different things. As I already discussed these points as well. In HR, there are different points to work on. Like HR comes with TA team, HR comes with onboarding part, HR comes with exit formalities as well. So in TA team, it's like talent acquisition where you have to acquire the new talents. As I already discussed, like you have to hire new candidates. So it that is called TA. After that comes the onboarding part, which is like you have to do the onboarding kind of things. Once the candidate is ready and is all set to join the organization, so after that your work comes, which is onboarding kind of part. And once the candidate he's on notice period or he left the organization, so I think then comes the exit part. So there are different kinds of HR. So you should be clear with your thoughts or with your job that I want to go into this field of HR.
Okay, Rohit, there is a question in the chat box. So they are asking that I want to do distance MBA from IPU, but is it valid in abroad? Can I get a job after distance MBA in Canada? And I am moving this year, so they are confused about it. So that is why they are asking this question.
Okay, let me tell you one thing clearly. I won't deny that distance learning is a good thing because everyone is working for their family or near and dear ones. So I think people are, if someone is working or someone is earning, so they have lack of time as well. So somehow there are people who start working early because they have to feed their family as well. So they don't have time. So that's why they go for MB, like anything for distance learning. Okay, something like some companies they want candidate with regular MBA in HR or regular education they have done. But somehow some companies are there who accept if candidate has done any education part from distance kind of things, so they are okay with that. So that totally depends on company to company, that varies on companies to company. It's not I can say yes you can go for it or no you can go for it. Before going anything, go thoroughly because it totally depends on company.
All right, I think we are done for today. Before wrapping up the session, I need everyone to know that if you want to know about more such webinars, or if you want to have more such free briefings from the professionals, then do visit the Shiksha online website, and do consider checking out the courses that are available there. There are some course which cost you some kind of fee, while there are some courses who are available there for free. So according to your interest, whether it is in human resources, MBA, or any other professional field, you can also suggest those courses to your friends and colleagues. So accordingly, you can visit the website and suit yourself. That's all we wanted to tell you. And I hope this webinar was useful for you and this session was innovative, as Rohit has put up a lot of effort. And thank you so much, Rohit, to you also once again for being a part of Shiksha online webinar. And we hope that we can have you in future back again with
So
us.
thank you so much Abhilasha for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.